Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of Corso Systems Tech Talks. I'm Alex Marcy, the president and founder of Corso Systems. Today we're going to take a look at Ignition's Perspective module and how you can use its mobile hardware integration to track users' locations in real time. As the size of companies and their manufacturing facilities grow, it's important to know where people are at any given time. This can be especially helpful in life safety situations like during a fire drill or an actual emergency, or more simply, even as we move into remote access into factories, you could put users in a read-only mode if they're off-site or able to control equipment if they're on-site. Normally, companies would track general locations by using keycard swipes to track which room a person entered most recently, or if they use badges to log into their HMI stations, we could track which HMI station they logged into most recently. Using Perspective with the native app on mobile devices, you can see all of your users' locations in real time. Taking a cue from the world at large, the concept of geofencing came up at ICC 2019 when Travis Cox with Inductive Automation was uploading Corso Systems' Factory Packs library to the Ignition Exchange as the first third-party release before the build-a-thon. He had to leave the conference for a little bit after we gave him a USB stick to go back to the Inductive Automation office to upload the files, as access to the Ignition Exchange was geofenced to their office building. Having some experience with geofencing as a marketing tool, and knowing we could now tie into the GPS sensors on a mobile device with Perspective, combining the two was a no-brainer. Over the next couple of years, when I had some spare time, I built a Perspective geofencing app. And then with the push for the ICC 2021 Ignition Exchange Challenge looming, I polished everything up and released the app on the exchange after a couple of review cycles with Inductive Automation support team. We'll post a link to that in the description below. So now let's get into what is geofencing in the first place. The concept of geofencing, if you're not familiar, is to create a number of locations on a map. These can either be points with a radius in feet or meters, giving you a circle around that point, or a polygonal shape tracing out, say, a building, for example. If someone is within one of these shapes, based on a sensor from their mobile device, giving you latitude and longitude, you can have particular information made available to them pertinent to that location. You may find this if you went to a grocery store and they had geofencing to give you particular ads for that store when you're there. Or if you're familiar with something like Snapchat, this is how Snapchat custom filters work. If you were to go to a particular city or even go to a concert where they have a custom filter and open the app, you'll see those custom filters available based on your location. And then if I was to go to a different city, I'll see different filters show up because they're tracking my location on the app. For the manufacturing world, this can be really useful with both security, only allowing users to access particular functionality while at a particular machine, while at the facility in the first place, if you want read-only access to be made available to remote users, or even if you have technicians out in the field, you can automatically navigate them to the correct site if they pull up to a remote pump station and need to do some troubleshooting. So when they get there, they could open the app and it'll automatically log into that system based on what site they're at, rather than having to navigate through a bunch of screens to get there. Now, how does geofencing work? The way it works is it compares the user's location with the geofences you've created. The geofences will all have latitude and longitude of where the point is and what the radius would be for a circle, or each point of the polygon will have latitude and longitude. And then the mobile device will give the app the user's latitude and longitude. And using some basic trigonometry and a couple math functions, we can see if they are within a particular location based on their distance to a point, or if they're within the polygon, what location they're closest to, and where they are on the map in general. In the Perspective app that I developed, we track which location the user is closest to and only perform the math to check if they're inside a particular fence on the closest fence, just so that we're reducing the overhead of the system to calculate all of that. And then if they're inside of a shape or if they're not inside of a shape, we set up a session property that tracks both the closest fence and if the user is inside of that fence or not. And then this runs essentially in real time as the user's location moves. on the map. So we're updating that and checking where they are. And then we make that session property available to be used in perspective views or scripting or bindings, or to the gateway if we want to tie it to a tag or something to trigger whatever we need it to trigger. This is one aspect of perspective where Ignition is really leading the charge in the manufacturing world. No one else has a native mobile app that can tie into your phone's hardware to monitor and control your operations, while also giving you detailed information on each device you have in the field. This also extends to camera functionality, accelerometers, etc. If you've seen the crane demo that Inductive Automation has at their booth at conferences, you'll see some other hardware integrations available. So that's basically it on geofencing and the app that we developed using Ignition's Perspective app. We'll put a link to that in the description below. We'd love for you to check it out and let us know if you have any other ideas on geofencing or things you would like to see added to the app, or if you've been using this app, it'd be great to get some feedback on how you've enjoyed it so far. And as always, reach out to us at corsosystems.com if you have any questions or need any more information on any of our tech talks. Thank you.